Twitter user Xihui999 reported that in the early spring of 2024, a severely ill father in northern China due to economic collapse, unable to find a job and afford medical treatment while waiting for a ride on the roadside on his way home, used his frail body to keep his child warm. After 20 minutes, the car arrived, but the father could no longer get up. The child, too young, lay obediently in his father's arms, unaware that his father had departed from him. Luxurious gates with the smell of wine and meat, roads with frozen bones. Radio Free Asia also tweeted a report that after China's NetEase News released the documentary short film Working Like This for 30 Years, it was banned across the entire internet on the 9th. The media outlet First Finance then published farm workers waiting on the side of the road in the early morning, which was subsequently taken down. After NetEase video, First Financial's Tower Rushing article also deleted. On January 10th, First Financial published an article titled Migrant Workers Waiting by the Roadside for Work in the Early Morning, depicting the current situation of migrant workers at the largest casual labor market in Zhengzhou, the Xi'an labor market. However, the article was swiftly deleted. The article states that at 4 or 5 in the morning, the labor market at the intersection of Zhengxin Road and Yutong Road in Zhengzhou is already crowded with people, many of whom are wearing safety helmets. Zhang Zhong, pseudonym, shares a rented place with several other fellow villagers, splitting the monthly rent of a little over 100 Chinese yuan per person. Zhang Zhong, who arrives around 4 in the morning to seek work, stands in the cold wind until after 6 in the afternoon, but is unable to sell his labor. This is all the money I have, a total of 87.12 yuan, Zhang Zhong says. He expresses concern that if he can't find work tomorrow, even eating will become a problem. In fact, there were job opportunities that day. Zhang Zhong had initially boarded a vehicle for work, but it involved working on the exterior insulation of a building under construction, a 33-story high-rise where workers stand in a basket and hand over rock wool boards for exterior insulation. He explains that on such a cold day, at that height, a fall could result in death or serious injury. Worried about his children at home, he decides not to take the risk. However, the van he declined quickly filled up with other migrant workers, and it swiftly departed. According to his introduction, many construction sites have shut down this year, making it the off-season for migrant workers to find jobs. However, despite this, 5,000 to 6,000 people still come to seek work every day. When asked why he doesn't look for long-term work on construction sites, he mentions the fear of unpaid wages. A year ago, Zhang Zhong worked for almost half a year for a contractor he trusted, but was owed over 20,000 yuan in wages, which he has yet to recover. The article notes that many migrant workers at the Xi'an labor market have experienced wage arrears. Having saved over 30,000 yuan in the first half of 2023, Zhang Zhong originally planned to return to his hometown to start a small business after the Chinese New Year. However, in August, his elderly father suffered a stroke and was hospitalized, depleting all the savings for medical expenses. After over 20 years in Zhengzhou, Zhang Zhong has spent his savings on dowry, buying a house, a car, and supporting his 2 children. Lao Zhao, originally from Shangqiu, pays a rent of 10 yuan per day for a cold shack and has been searching for work for over a week without success. He is considering taking a night shift at a nearby express sorting center, where he can earn 130 yuan in one busy night. Lao Zhao somewhat self-mocks, saying, 130 yuan a day, it sounds ridiculous, and in previous years he wouldn't have accepted such low pay. However, even with the current rate of 130 yuan per day, it's not easy to earn. Zhang Zhong mentions that, in the past, skilled workers like rebar workers, welders, and carpenters earned 350 yuan per day on construction sites, but now the wages have dropped to 180 yuan per day. As the night deepens, migrant workers who found work return one by one, while those who haven't found work are reluctant to leave, hoping for a night shift opportunity. Zhang Zhong remarks that in previous years, with such cold weather, He would have gone home for the Chinese New Year, but now not only himself but others also choose to stay, saying, "We still need money in hand." Before the report by First Financial, on January 9th, NetEase released a video on Bilibili titled "Working Like This for 30 Years," mainly depicting the real struggles of a group of migrant workers from Hefei, Anhui Province, for their livelihood. However, the video was quickly banned, and NetEase's Bilibili account was found to be unfollowable. On January 8th, NetEase News launched a documentary short film titled "Working Like This for 30 Years," focusing on the living conditions of China's lower-class laborers. The title of this short film is the same as an article published in July 2023 by the WeChat public account Positive Connection, which quoted a study conducted by Associate Professor Xi'an of Anhui Normal University. The study revealed that after nearly 30 years of working in the city, the first generation of migrant workers in China, burdened with illness, is unable to retire, facing numerous difficulties in pension issues and becoming the forgotten generation. The documentary short film by NetEase News primarily focuses on the current situation of migrant workers in Hefei. Some start waiting for work as early as 4 a.m., some can't afford the 380 yuan medical insurance, and some struggle to support the third generation. On January 9th, the film was deleted after attracting attention from netizens. In Zhougudui, Hefei, at 4 a.m., workers gather at the intersection to wait for work. Dong Guilan, 57, has been working in the city for 7 years. She said, "If there's no work, people get anxious. I can't sleep. I keep looking at the clock. At 4 in the morning, I get up and come here. I'm really tired." Wang Zhaoqi, 54, said, "There's not much land at home, no land, and no source of income. Doing odd jobs at home doesn't earn much. I've been in Hefei for at least 10 years, and my wife left a long time ago." China Construction's Second Engineering Bureau owes more than 1.4 million to workers. Authorities only fined 2,000, causing public outrage. Recently, China Construction's Second Engineering Bureau, CCSEB, faced criticism as one of its subcontractors failed to pay 1.4 million CNY in wages to 53 farmers. Despite being ordered to settle the payment, CCSEB refused and was fined 2,000 CNY. After this news gained attention, several mainland Chinese media outlets deleted their reports. A penalty notice published on the Credit China Shaanxi website revealed that during the construction of the DK3 section of the Biguiwan Qindufu project in Qindu District, Xianyang City, a subcontractor under CCSEB, Shanxi Fengsheng Yuan Construction Engineering Co., Ltd., failed to pay wages totaling 1.4 million CNY to workers, including Jia Jibing and Liu Quanhao. The Human Resources and Social Security Bureau of Qindu District, Xianyang City, ordered CCSEB to settle the payment, but CCSEB refused to comply and was fined 2,000 CNY. The date of the penalty decision was December 28, 2023. On January 3rd, the author of The Rational Society on NetEase argued that the law should protect the interests of the weak, restrain capital and power, or else there will be more victims. Withholding wages is an illegal act, and lenient fines will only encourage such behavior. The author mentioned that a 2,000 CNY fine for CCSEB may not be enough even for a leader's meal, and the local social affairs department should show more sincerity to solve the problem. The author of Micro Lightyear on NetEase also commented on the incident, stating that owing over 1.4 million and being fined 2,000 is reminiscent of the previous celery fine incident, where an elderly person earned a profit of 14 yuan from selling celery, but was fined 100,000 yuan for failing the inspection. The fine was later reduced to 50,000 yuan, and due to public opinion, it was not enforced. Some netizens expressed their opinions, saying that with 1.4 million owed, not even paying interest and only receiving a 2,000 CNY fine is giving a green light to wage arrears. It is evident that the authorities tolerate units that withhold wages. Who can demand wages for the farmers? This is their hard-earned money. Owing any money should not include withholding wages for farmers. It's not just the farmers. Various social classes in Chinese society are currently struggling. The Yangling Experimental High School, affiliated with Shanxi Normal University, recently had its power cut off due to unpaid bills, leading to the suspension of classes. The school informed parents to pick up their students. Although power has been restored, an employee revealed that Yangling Experimental High School has delayed the payment of teachers' salaries for 3 months. The accumulation of several fines in one day has driven the former delivery guy, who once harbored resentment towards South Korea and the United States, to the brink of collapse. With a torn heart, he cries out to the heavens, "I have devoted myself wholeheartedly to the country. Why is the nation treating me ruthlessly and unjustly?" Chinese white-collar workers celebrate the Chinese New Year early. China faces the new 3 waves of closures, layoffs, and frequent unemployment. The Spring Festival migration home is happening earlier, and workers are pretending to work and borrowing money to get by. Many white-collar workers in China are facing unemployment and becoming entrepreneurial refugees. In Shenzhen, the bus station is bustling with people preparing to return home early for the new year, carrying bags of belongings. Residents in Shenzhen say, "There are already not many people on the streets. If it were before, there would be many people at this time." Some say, many people have already gone back for the new year. The streets are unusually quiet with no noisy crowds. It's only November. Shenzhen has already experienced a large wave of people returning home early. I heard that over 1 million people have already left Shenzhen early, and some even shouted in agony as they left, "This time I'm leaving and never coming back." This situation reveals an unusual crisis for the Chinese economic barometer, the frontline cities. Foreign media report that large numbers of white-collar workers, including those in cities like Shenzhen and Shanghai, have recently been laid off, with reports as early as October indicating a 3 to 4 month early return home for the new year, once a hot topic on Weibo. Chinese netizens comment, apart from migrant workers, surprisingly, there are 2 types of people leaving Shenzhen early. The first type is middle-aged white-collar workers who were laid off in the first half of the year, and they used to have a starting annual salary of 50,000. The second type is entrepreneurial refugees who borrowed money to invest in opening restaurants in the first half of the year. Recently, there have been rumors on the internet about over 20 large, well-known enterprises, including ByteDance's game Xi'an Guangnian, undergoing large-scale business contraction. Some netizens also revealed Alibaba's layoffs, a 7% layoff ratio, with many talents preparing to return to society. Now, it's only November, and major technology giants across the country have started layoffs one after another. An unemployed Chinese person laments, "I send resumes to dozens of companies every day, but all end up like a drop in the ocean." The intense wave of closures, unemployment, and layoffs has become China's new 3 waves. Some people say, the larger the city, the more people like him pretending to work. Many people rely on credit cards, spending and borrowing to get through each day. People are pretending to work until the moment they return home. The crisis of the new 3 waves is gradually spreading, making the new year increasingly difficult for countless laborers in major Chinese cities.